Yeah, so who's going to win in this category, Sean Penn or Mickey Rourke?
You want to go?
Who's going to win? I think, it's hard to say, but I think Sean Penn. And I think that just because I think, as much as he considers himself an outsider from Hollywood, I think he's really well regarded in Hollywood. And I think, and I'm not going to speak personally to Mickey Rourke, but I think if you've had a time when you were in the spotlight, well, I am speaking personally about him, but if you have a time when you're really in the spotlight and you're doing well and then you're out of it for a long time, I don't think that you probably won a lot of friends at that time. I mean, it's just my guess, but it's still tough to call because they're both really great performances. They're very different, but they're both, and that's the most exciting category to me. I mean, just purely, in the Best Actress, it's kind of like, okay, well, who deserves it more because they've been overlooked too much with Kate Winslet and with Meryl Streep. But with them, it's just pure, like, how two great performances head to head. And I'm very excited about it, but I'd have to go with Penn, I'd say.
Well, I made a little bit of a study of this, and I found that not only in recent years, but actually from the very beginning, the movies that tend to win Best Actor or Best Actress, the performances rather, are chameleonic performances. They're performances where the person seems to completely disappear into a role. And the performances that don't win are these great performances that at the same time people will say, well, they're just playing themselves. And if you go by that, then Sean Penn will probably win because he completely disappears into Harvey Milk, whereas when you're watching Mickey Rourke, there's a tendency to think of Mickey Rourke as playing a version of Mickey Rourke. The truth, though, about these things is that a few years later, 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years down the line, people look and they say, the other performance should have won. So that the chameleonic performances don't last as well because the chameleonic performances and the performances in which they usually the movies in which they tend to be in, which are usually like historic films, they tend to be statements about what we think of ourselves at the time. Whereas the apotheosis performances, the performances where the people seem to be playing themselves, they really capture what people were really like and what was really going on, so that we look back and we appreciate more Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca than Humphrey Bogart in The African Queen. Or we look back on 1950 and we say, how did Judy Holliday in Born Yesterday, she was good, but how did she beat Bette Davis in All About Eve? Well, in 1950, people were saying, Bette Davis is just playing herself. But we look back and we think, well, she's playing herself, but she's also playing something else. She's capturing a philosophy. She's capturing a way of being. She's capturing a consciousness. So I think Sean Penn will win, but I think 20 years from now, people will say, why didn't Mickey Rourke win?
And I like the statement that you made about Mickey Rourke.